evening all. I am Dr. Amita, Director, Ajo Hospital, Mangalore, and it's my pleasure to invite our next speaker, Captain Ajita Nair. Captain Ajita Nair has 25 years of experience in clinical, administrative, and teaching in armed forces and corporate sector. She has finished a nursing graduate from College of Nursing AFMC Pune. She has done her post-graduation in nursing from CMC Vellore and followed by PG diploma in management from IIM. She has also served in the armed forces for more than 14 years. She has also served as nursing head at Aster Medicity, Kochi and Fortis Monali, and Director Nursing Ruby Hall Clinic, Pune. She has also worked as an NABH assessor. Today, she is a managing director of HealBiz, an operations and management consulting firm. It's our pleasure to have you today, madam. Thank you for being here today. And she will be addressing the topic, manpower planning and equity adjusted staffing, strategy for nurse manpower planning. Thank you, madam, and over to you.
Good afternoon, the esteemed panelists. It's my proud privilege to be here to share my experiences about nurse staffing with such a huge audience, 392 of them. Very happy to see such a huge response and also share the panel with such eminent speakers here. So my topic for the day is manpower planning and acuity adjusted staffing strategy for nurse manpower planning. Probably the most difficult task in managing a private sector hospital, at least in our country. I wouldn't say it is easier in the government sector. I have almost 14 years of experience in the government sector as well. But they are a shade better probably because of the standardization of their training and retention of manpower. But in private sector, actually speaking, it is chaos, only that people don't agree and talk about it. So today I'm going to talk about nurse staffing in general and acuity adjusted staffing in particular. So just a preview to my topic, staffing. It is an administrative function that includes all activities involved for supplying an adequate number of the right type of staff. Here we mean in attitude, in competency, to each nursing unit on every shift, every day of the year in the entire hospital. Not a small or mean task. Staffing is important for providing quality patient care. No doubt about that. Everyone agrees. Ensuring patient safety and also for job satisfaction of the staff as well as the patients and also of the doctors and whoever is in the hospital. So in general, it means manpower management includes the right from the budgeting. So it overall, the manpower management means that planning for the right staff in right place, in right numbers all the time. Easier said than done. So the steps of manpower management as far as nursing is concerned are the following. First of all, budgeting, staffing. Staffing is budgeting, all of you know, plan for what is the number we should keep for the coming year. And staffing is the process of taking them on board, training and supplying it to different units as per their requirement. Scheduling is how to place them on different schedules because nursing is a 24/7 function in the hospital all 365 days. And coming to the unit levels, it is as per their competency and skills we assign the patients. And yes, very important to maintain the staff competency and overall productivity management. So nurse manpower management includes all the things. I wouldn't be speaking because of the paucity of time, a few of these last mentioned things here. So manpower budgeting, let me talk a little bit about that. So budgeting means total number of, it depends on these factors, total number of beds in the hospital, occupancy in the hospital, type of patients, what kind of patients you cater to, type of services, whether it's primary, secondary, tertiary or quaternary service, turnover of patients, number of nursing hours of operation of the unit, whether it is a daycare unit or 24/7 operations of the unit, Quality and quantity of nursing personnel. Nurses are not so easily available, especially the ones who knows the job are rarely found. And method of assignment. So this is patient assignment, whether you individual assignments you give, that means, X number of patients for one nurse, or do you give group assignment or team nursing, that is known as, or there is functional assignment as well, which means one nurse goes around and gives all the medications, another one records vital signs, etc. That's very rampant in government sector. And also the composition or staff mix, whether do you have less experienced staff or well-experienced staff in your entire composition. Cost of staffing, that too is important because it in our country varies from state to state. Future expansion of the scope of services, whether the hospital has any expansion plans, because when you budget the staffing, we should keep that in mind as well, or in terms of adding of new services or any new beds. And staffing training period, this we often overlook, that there are a lot of staff exiting and joining. So the ones who are joining probably may not be all that productive for the first month. So whereas they are in the manpower role. So we often overlook these kind of issues. And then there is a mismatch between what you plan and what is actually available at the bedside. So these are certain norms what we have in India. We do not have a Nurse Practice Act per se so far. However, Indian Nursing Council has given some norms which we are supposed to adhere to, and these are the norms. I'm not going to read out the entire thing, but it generally says staff nurse should be there for 3 beds should have 1 staff is what it says, and 1:5 for non-teaching hospitals, and there should be 30% reserve. So this is a very old recommendation by the Indian Nursing Council. This is probably before the time when all those super specialties today, what the hospitals are specializing in, came into being. And intensive care units, it says it should be 1:1, and that means 3 nurses in for the day, and additional 3 for the leave reserve and the exigencies and things like that. So this is what the guidance we have got from the INC, what we have so far. So I'm just here talking about, how do we plan the total number? So when you talk about budgeting, this is a rough scale. How do we calculate? So basically we need to know how are we calculating these numbers. So in the first part of it, I have all the ICUs. In the second part is the wards. And the third part of it is the other units, which are mostly daycare units. Or some of them like emergency is 24/7, and maybe dialysis in some centers 24/7, and labor room is definitely 24/7. So this last part is not because of the 24/7 service or not. It is because in this Excel sheet, we are using nurse-patient ratio as the base for calculating the total number of nurses. So that's why where nurse-patient ratio actually cannot be attributed to a bed is what the last part of it is. Whereas in ICU and in wards, we can do that. Depending on the nature of the ward or ICU, we have to have an accepted nurse-patient ratio, which has to be sanctioned by the HR or senior management as part of the budget. And based on that is what the calculations are done. So if we have to maintain, say, 1:5 staffing for 24/7, 365 days for the wards, so this is how the calculation goes. So which means that, say, if in a 20-bedded unit, you need to have 4 nurses for 1 shift, and 4 into 3 for the day, and maybe 1 more of that. So means quarter of that is for the off and leave and all that. 25 to 30% is what leave reserve we require. So we have to calculate all the nursing units in the hospital as per wherever the nurses are posted, and each department has to be accounted for, and we come to a total number. So this is an approximate calculation of how many numbers you require for the next year. So if we don't have this number, we will not be able to plan it better. And maybe in government sector and all, we'll put it a little more, while calculating these numbers, give little 0.1% more in each unit, so that you will have some reserve too. Because in government, you cannot have, additional posts once it is budgeted and planned. And Like in private sector, we have every year revision, the budget is revised, but in government, it is just the opposite. Once it is fixed, maybe once in 10 years, 15 years is what this revision happens. So the number calculation is depending on which sector hospital you belong to, because it's totally different. There is nothing comparable between a government sector hospital and a private sector hospital as far as nursing manpower calculation goes. So this one here, what I want to integrate is the early calculation is it is not just the bed numbers what you're operationalizing, not really, because nurse manpower costs you quite a lot, and to be rationalizing it, we consider the average occupancy. So you can also decide whether you want to staff your hospital at 80% occupancy depending on the last year, or this is about a quarter, in fact, what is shown in this Excel sheet, but you can take any period of time, in fact, maybe 3 years occupancy if you are not in the expansion mode, to understand more realistically what would be your expectation of patient population to be catered to, so that you can have more realistic planning. So these are the factors affecting staffing, I would say. What determines how many staff should be there? So this depends on, one is what kind of patients you cater to, and there are a lot of factors related to the staff as well, and also the institution related. So what kind of an organization you are serving. So there is, though IMC gives some recommendation, but I, for one, believe that each hospital has to arrive at its optimal manpower. So everybody has to work on it, sit together and identify what would be your, most appropriate nurse-patient ratio, depending on these all factors. Because if you arrive at a nurse-patient ratio, this is what is your approved ratio. But if you do not get competent nurses, what do? You are forced to work with younger nurses. But then this nurse-patient ratio, though it is counting the heads, but it is not actually a head count. If you go by just, one head is equal to one nurse. So all these calculations, what I've shown before is, thinking that, all of them are competent, they know to do their job. But on ground, what we get is exactly not the same. So depending on all these factors is what we have to calculate those numbers. Like, say, for example, if you have a lot of nurses going out and you do not get enough competent nurses, you may end up, taking fresher nurses, and you cannot count a new nurse, a novice nurse, as a full manpower. So you may count them as half to equalize your ratio. So if you're just counting by heads, then you will go seriously wrong in that. So now we come to a little bit, how do we incorporate acuity into this? So initially it was nurse-patient ratio, what I've shown. Then I was trying to include the average occupancy, and now we are looking at patient classification system. So in patient classification system, otherwise known as acuity calculation. So acuity calculation, or what does this mean, is that how much actual nursing care the patient at the bedside requires, direct nursing care. Now, how much is it required? So as per standard classification, we have 4 types. So which means that one type where minimal nursing care is required. So a nurse in 24 hours might be directly spending with the patient only 2 hours in 24 hours. Okay, so that is category 1. So 2 is about 4 hours. So this is based on various studies. Okay. And intermediate care, maybe the nurse is spending 6 hours, direct patient care. So it does not really mean that the nurse is only spending time in direct patient care. There is a lot of other works too the nurse does. A lot of clerical work maybe, or a lot of computer work, not only in documenting, but also procuring things and maintaining inventory, and a lot of other jobs. So what we are trying to do by including this acuity-based calculation is, try to take away the rest of this job no one else can do in the hospital. It's only a nurse can do. So this is only counting those kind of jobs, or how much time the nurse takes, to spend time with the patient, because no one else can replace the nurse in that. But whereas the remaining time which the nurse has to spend on computer, getting the supplies and a lot of other things, it would be wise if your nursing cost is higher than the rest of the people. Then it would be wise to employ someone else to look after your inventory and things like that, so that you don't have to have a higher cost for maintaining your inventory. So we have to look at it in toto, comprehensively look at nurse manpower. And earlier, all these jobs definitely was done by the nurses, but today, because of increasing cost and lack of availability of competent nurses, we have started looking at it differently, where nurses can be given more support in terms of nursing care attendants and ward clerks, and a lot of other categories have come into. They work along with the nurse so that they don't have to count each medicine, or some pharmacists can come and do, and things like that. So this is how the nurse calculation goes theoretically. So exactly, of course, is not done like this. So just look at a nursing unit with 40 beds and acuity level. This is an imaginary calculation. Okay, so so level 1, say, has 10 patients, level 2, level 3, level 4, all has 10 patients. So 220 hours of direct nursing care is required for that unit, if considering all the beds are full. Okay, and then 220 hours of direct nursing care is required. So this is what, if the nurses are meant for, then a nurse can work for 8 hours maximum in a day, averaged out. Okay, so we have night duties of 12 hours and other day shifts of 6 hours, but averaging out to be 8 hours per day for the number of working days available. But nursing care, we have to provide 24/7 into 365 days. So we have to have additional manpower for this. So this is how the formula goes, that nursing hours per day into 365 divided by how many working days are there in that month per employee into 8 hours. So this is the approximate calculation what we use, in fact, to determine how many nurses are required to run 24/7. Here, the leave also is considered because of this calculation, because we are counting the number of working days available per nurse. So this is one type of calculation where we used acuity of the patients. So this is an acuity scale which I was using in one of the hospitals where I worked. So on the right hand side, you can see the entire sheet, and this is what, since you can't read it, I made it a little bit bigger on this side. So there are parameters. This is an acuity tool used in the ICU. So there are parameters which you can read. And a score is assigned to that, and in the next column you have to write yes, no. Towards the end you can see it is written yes, yes. So if any of these parameters turn yes, and few of it together, if it is yes, then the ratio appears at the bottom automatically 1:1. This is an Excel based tool which we had developed, in fact. So for ward also, you can use appropriate parameters to measure and consider and determine whether this patient requires 1:1 ratio, or 1:2, or 1:3, or whatever. So we can develop acuity based staffing tools in the similar fashion. We can even develop applications based on these parameters. And then distribution, like you calculate the total requirement, you staff the place, or you maintain the staff, or how many have gone out, you have recruited, you've trained them, and then distribution. So in order to make the duty scheduler, you have to distribute this, because in a private sector hospital, every day staff goes, in the sense there will be resignation. So every month I used to send this, though it shows little older data, but the things are the same. So every month this changes, because say 15, 20, 30 is the exit from this. So from each place, nurse falls off, and you have to recruit new nurses and add on to that and maintain this number. I mean, it's like, say, in my personal experience, about 70% of the nursing head's time goes into this activity of finding appropriate staff for the hospital. It's just terrible, I would say, because one hospital where 70% was realized attrition in that hospital. So 70% is too huge. And what I can safely manage is maybe 35-40% I can still manage in a private sector, but beyond that is just terrible. So now, when we plan the schedule, so it is not only the total staffing calculation, but since the occupancy keep varying, so we'll have to adjust it according to occupancy, because you are not going to staff the place for 100% occupancy anyways, and this adjustment keeps going on. So when there is more patients, you try to little bit reduce, adjust the day offs and give less leave, and also because we have serious constraints about the cost as well. So this is how we manage. So when scheduling happens, these are the factors which depends or determines that working hours, staff rotations, weekend. So all these we have to consider while making the duty scheduler, and their preferences, and we have to listen to everyone, right? So once it is made, it looks like this. So this is just halfway through a duty scheduler. So this is an Excel sheet which we prepare and give. So in the bottom, per shift, how many are there for a day shown, and on the right hand side, per nurse, how many hours. So how many hours? 8 hours per working day is what we count. And if they take their authorized off, that is reduced from that. So if you have, say, 24 working days in a month, it is 192. That's why it's showing 192 out there. So a completed one looks like this. So this is how, now this is scheduler, mind you. As per the scheduler, duty may not happen because you have exigencies. You have to, ask somebody who is planned for day off tomorrow, today. I mean, this is like you have to be at it all the time. Then only, the staff appears at the bedside every day without causing any problems. And then comes to, everyday assignment. So patient assignment on a everyday, or the in-charge nurse the previous day reviews the next day's staffing and informs before she leaves for the day, what is the adjustments done for the next day. So we plan, despite that monthly planner, we have to do it a day prior, or maybe 1 or 2 days prior, we review the staffing. And then patient assignments are done as per the staff which is available at the bedside. So now this available staff has to be a mix of staff. All can't be the new ones or less competent ones. It is very important to have competency mix in order to have safe patient care. So these are the factors we consider while giving. So these are the things which we can consider while making an acuity tool, in fact. So at the end of it, we capture this shift by shift for 30 days. So you get 3 shifts a day and 90 readings, and average of that looks like this. This is staff patient ratio for the month. So this is for few days. I mean, handy was available, was a old data. So it just looked the same, whichever time it is. So it is, easier said than done. I don't think whatever the competence the head of the department of nursing requires, I can tell in these 20 minutes. But I just try to, give you an account of how nursing staffing is done in a hospital. And the examples which I said, of course, belongs to private hospitals. Government level is not like this because their staffing is fixed and doesn't change at all. Why? Because it might be fixed for 10 years, 15 years. And usually the staff exit is also much less, they only either, very rarely they go on transfer or retirement. So only these exigencies they have to plan, or someone falling sick. But in private sector, since generally the salary and their living circumstances in our country is very poor, and as opposite to the Western countries where it is very lucrative job, so everyone joins nursing to go abroad, right? So we have to live with these facts and provide the best nursing care against these very difficult situations. And COVID has added to all the troubles, and who said even in COVID times there are chartered flights coming to India to pick up nurses to Gulf countries and to UK. So nursing is very lucrative job, definitely. So these are the circumstances under which we work. So in conclusion, I would like to say that, yeah, it is a very complex thing, of course, depending on your patient population as well as the nurse population, and availability and things like that. And nurse attrition is the biggest challenge in Indian private sector hospitals. Yeah, if you have smart nurses, they will leave you faster, definitely. Issues in nurse staffing cannot be limited to spreadsheet figures. So this is what HR and the management has to understand. This cannot be just, you can put it into Excel spreadsheets and say that this is your staffing. No, there are 100 things to consider while, deciding on staffing. And probably this is important to have mid-level leadership, little tight and competent people. If you have, they will manage it better on the floor. Now, if you do not have mid-level staff, leadership level competent, then you will end up spending more money. Yesterday in a visit to a previous hospital where I worked, so they have 400 staff for an average occupancy of 120. I mean, I was really surprised. So this is, if you don't have competent, nurse leaders, this is what happens. And NP ratio again cannot be standardized depending on your patient population. It would be, and Staffing reforms, yes, time to look at it, and software support. So this is very important. Now we do all by mental calculation, paper calculation, and a lot of time is spent in that. And there is a lot of software support available in the market, and if the management considers, a lot of time can be saved. And that's it. What I have to share.
Thank you.
So teamwork is important. So all of us, if work in silos, this is how it will be at the end. So better to have more talking across the table. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. It was indeed a very good presentation, and I think hospitals must have quite well understood about the equity nurse planning and maintaining of staffs. Thank you again on behalf of the organizers.